heart attack. Fast, fatal, hard impact. Past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Q's show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku. And, well, quite a bit of things have happened. Now, whenever we last left off in this series, a lot of things were revealed. Warren learned about the pregnancy test prank that Reina, his wife, pulled on Deku. She wanted to see what his reaction would be. See if he'd go out for some cigarettes or stay. She didn't get the reaction she expected. And it actually did lead to her somewhat respecting Deku a little bit more. She hid this from her husband. And Mirako, she found out that her father, quite literally, hired men to look into her boyfriend. Hired men to try to investigate his entire life. And this just annoyed her. Her parents, they're pushing the boundaries. They literally came to an island outside of Japan just to keep an eye on her. And because they don't trust this guy. Mirako, she got annoyed. And she told off her father. Now, she currently is sitting down. And she does have a few thoughts go through her head. Right now, her, Izuku, and, well, her friend, Ryoko, that's her name, they're all sitting down the next morning. She couldn't really get to sleep. But it's still just a lot. She's trying to process how everything went yesterday. She does want to stay in contact with her family. But at this point, she doesn't know what to really do. She's tried setting boundaries with them, but they just get ignored. She's tried laying down some rules, but they don't get followed. She's tried talking to them, but they don't listen. At this point, she doesn't know if she needs to cut ties with them, just because she feels like she's not given a voice, because they just don't listen to her. Now, as she is thinking this, you do actually have where Deku, he does turn towards her, as he does hold up something and ask Mirako if she's going to be alright. Mirako turning her head as she does see a piece of carrot cake Deku does have on a plate. Her actually looking up towards Deku as he does give her a smile. She does see that expression, and she does take the piece of carrot cake as she does say that she's not too sure. Ryoko asking if that's all that really happened yesterday. Now, Deku, he does explain a bit more about the situation. And Ryoko, yeah. She thought Mirako was intense, but this is a whole other level, a whole other situation. Now, it seems strange. And as all the three are talking, Deku, he does at least somewhat calm Mirako down a bit. Ease her stubborn nerves. But then something does happen. As they're all sitting there and enjoying their breakfast, you do have where Warren, Reina, and her brother Reggie, they all do come walking up. As they do actually do that, you do actually have Mirako. She was the first to notice. Deku, he actually bring up a cup of coffee to his lips as Mirako, she had turned and almost choke on a piece of the cake. Deku actually turning his gaze as he does see them out of the corner of his eye. Him actually swallowing the cup of coffee in his mouth before setting down his cup. He knew that they would arrive this morning, try to talk to Mirako, or just try to act like nothing ever happened. However, there's one thing Deku didn't predict. Warren and Reina, both of them do come sitting down. And Reggie, while he does sit down as well, he does do it a bit more slowly, since he doesn't know whether or not he should be here. And you do actually have where Warren, he does open right before Mirako can even say a word. He goes to open his lips and apologize. And that actually does catch Mirako off guard. As Warren, he does try to tell Mirako that he apologizes because he didn't know the full extent of the situation. And Mirako actually getting a bit more annoyed, as just slam her hands down on the table and inform her father that he doesn't need to know anything, and that she's had enough. Now, Deku actually has turned to Mirako, as he does just try to think. Her father just gave her an apology, and she's getting angry. Shit. Now, Ryoko does look towards Deku, wondering what he's gonna do. However, Mirako, yeah. She'll just go off on her father, and talk about everything she's been through throughout the last couple of years. And talking about how he's put her through this, he's put her through that. And this is the reason why she can't really be around them. Now, Mirako, she is going to try and stand up. As Deku, he actually is going to bring his hand out and go to grab onto Mirako's. As the moment she's actually going to bring her hand outwards, whenever she went to go stand, she turned to see Deku. Deku is still sitting down, and he does actually maintain a firm grip on her hand, as she actually does look down towards him, expecting him to stand. As Deku, he does ask Warren exactly what is he sorry for. And Mirako, she does actually go to turn back to her dad, staring daggers right at him. As Warren, he does try to give a bit of an explanation. He's sorry for not trusting her. He is worried. It's, well, her job. And what she does, the way she acts. She's rowdy, she's violent, she's just... This being where Mirako should at least, well, revolt against that. Informing her dad that she is the way she is. She likes to go out and seek adventure. She likes to go out and actually live her life the way she wants. She doesn't care what people think. And that she doesn't really care about what people think of her. It's really what her father does think. That's all it's ever been about. And this is actually where, well, Warren, he does express that he has always been worried about her. And that he just really doesn't know. And Mirako, she does get a bit angrier. Her father, he's finally at least vocalizing that he's been worried. He's finally at least telling her he's been worried. He's putting it into words, not action. And while Mirako, she actually starts to grit her teeth a bit, you do actually have Reina, who she does jump up and talk about how Mirako, she needs to just let off some steam. And that's, how about her, Ryoko, and her, just step away for a minute. Now, Mirako, she actually does somewhat let out a deep sigh, turning to Deku and seeing him. She does somewhat worry. This is the first guy she's dated. This is the first guy to be around her family. This is the first guy she's been able to relax around, let down her guard, be herself, not hide who she is. If she goes to embrace a new idea, Deku's there to support her, not laugh at her, not, well, make fun of her like they do. He's there to support her. Now, she does let go of Deku's hand, as she does ask if he's gonna be alright here with him. And Deku, he does look towards Warren, as he does just say he'll manage, and that the two will try to keep it civilized. And this actually does catch Reggie's attention, as whenever Mirko does turn around to bend down towards Deku and kiss him, Deku he does somewhat maintain eye contact with Warren, as he does look at the man, as he does turn his head after they kissed. And Warren, well, he is annoyed at that. He does let it go. Deku, seeing the man's face, somewhat turned to a bit of anger before fleeting away. And this actually does catch Reggie's attention. Deku, he's not doing what most people do around his father. He's acting this way. And then there's his sister. She's always been his role model. He's always wanted to be like her. And then there's now. Right now, she's not listening. She's not, well, retreating into that way she is. She's just doing what she wants. And he does actually feel a bit of jealousy. With that, the three do go to walk away. As Deku, he does turn his attention towards Warren before going to actually grab the carrot cake that was on the table and go to bring him a fork, asking Warren exactly what he would like to talk about, as he does put a piece of it in his mouth. And the two, they do begin their dialogue. Now, we will actually cut over to Mirko, Ryoko, and, well, Reina. The three are currently walking around Island, and it is actually kind of strange. Mirko's never really noticed it before. Well, she's never been here before, but now she kind of does pay attention. Whenever she does look at some shops, if she were to say this is like an amusement park, or really even just like a, what's the best way to put it? A fair, kind of? A celebration or a holiday thing, there's actually a lot of outfits around. There's a lot of places that sell different types of clothing. And it feels strange to her. Has she just never observed them or paid attention to them? And this is actually an opportunity that both Reina and Ryoko, they do both somewhat want to try to abuse, or really just use to their advantage. Reina wants to go out shopping with her daughter, and Ryoko, she wants to go around to the shops with her best friend, as the two, both successfully, do at least distract Mirko. And while Mirko, she was curious about some of these shops, she didn't really want to put those into words, since she knew exactly what she'd be getting into with both of these two here. A shit show. Now, with that, they do actually check out a few shops. And while it is actually interesting and kind of cool, it does turn out to be a lot longer than they expected. Now, eventually all three of them, they are sitting down and at least having something to drink. They have a few bags, and while Mirko, she does feel somewhat less stressed out or relieved, she does actually look at her mom, and then she does look towards her friend. Both the two are at least talking about a few things, something she doesn't really understand, and she is curious. However, there is actually whenever Reina does look towards her daughter, and see that somewhat slight smile. Are you alright? Yeah, Mom, I'm fine. It's just... Never mind. Romy, if there's something bothering you, then... Mom, just stop with all this extreme stuff, okay? Is that it? Yes. It's been you and Dad all the time. You guys just take things to a different level. My friends wonder why I'm so extreme, but then there's you and Dad. Now, Raina does somewhat have her comfortable smile turn to a bit of a frown, looking towards Ryoko and asking if she does really share that opinion. To which she does this kind of nod, talking about how she thought Mirako was intense before she kind of heard about all this other stuff. And that does somewhat kind of hurt Reina. She does try to express what she was doing. She tries to explain it the best way that she can. While it does come off as somewhat weird, the logic behind it does seem kind of there. And while it's not really exactly all put together too well, it does at least show she does care in a way. Now, Mirako can tell her mom is genuinely trying. However, she's being very awkward and somewhat kind of timid with everything she's trying to say. And while it does seem strange, she does try to change the subject very, very quickly. Whenever she seemed to, have a sudden change away from confidence and she seemed to be more on the defensive about it rather than the offensive, she changed the subject. And this is actually where she does bring up the idea, asking if Mirko's had a girl talk with her friend. To which she does just currently spit out her drink, ask her mom what does she mean. As Reina does bring up her hands and make a gesture with her fingers, asking if she's talked about, well, Izuku. To which Mirako, she does somewhat start getting her face turn red. Or having her face turn red. As she does explain to her mom, no. As, while that's all going on, it does seem strange. She's asking a bunch of questions that Mirako, she would really rather not answer. And Ryoko, yeah. She's at least heard exactly how the first meeting went for Izuku and her family. So there's that. It went all bad. And it does kind of explain the reason why Warren may have thought Deku was just some rich guy having fun. Although it doesn't really explain a few other things. Now, with that, we actually do cut to later, where after Mirako has at least somewhat calmed down and gotten over what her mother has said, they do return back to find Deku, Warren, and Reggie are all gone. And eventually, after some time, Mirako, she does reunite with Deku. She went back to the apartment to drop some things off. And while Deku, he was actually there, she did seem to find it quite strange and odd. She was hoping to explore a bit more of the island and probably go around with them and see what they have. See what's going on for later. And see if they can make meal plans or really just plans for later tonight. While they are technically still on a job, they can have fun in the process. Surveillance, And she does actually find Deku just sitting there at the edge of the bed. He is looking down towards his phone, and he is just trying to think. Right now, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to even say. And Mirako, she does actually walk over and bend down, asking if he's okay. And Deku, he does just look up towards Mirako, as he does have some tears in his eyes. Mirako, she immediately stares at him, as she does somewhat jolt backwards with surprise. She just, didn't expect that. And there actually is whenever Deku, he does fall forwards onto his knees and embrace Mirako, as he does wrap his arms around her and drop his phone, as he does just say a few words that catch Mirako off guard. Deku, he says that his father died. And Mirako, she just stunned. And she just go to bring up her hands. wrapping them around Deku, asking what happened. I don't know. I don't I don't know. Doctors, he just went to the hospital. Kelly, well, Shindo, they just, he just collapsed and I don't, god damn it. He should still have a month. He should still have two. No. Deku doesn't know what to do. He needs to go back over there. He needs to go back to Japan right now. Right now, there's a chance. A chance to see him before, you know. But then there's the fact that it's just hard. He needs to be there with his sister. He needs to be there with his little brother. He's been putting time into his job. And right now, he feels like he put too much into it. Reconnecting with the father he never knew. And discovering family. He feels like well, he doesn't know how to put it in the right way. He's one of the smartest men on the planet. And right now, he can't put something into words. Or maybe close to that. The best way I could describe it for Deku. He feels like he can create anything. He feels like he can think of anything. But he feels like he can't think of the conversation they could have had. The one where Deku expresses to his father some sort of understanding. Deku, he feels like he could have expressed to him. He gets it. He gets that fear. He gets that realization. He gets something about it. And he would have apologized. He feels like he owes his dad that much. He feels like he could say sorry. He feels like he's missed that chance. And he'll never get it. And Mirako, she doesn't sort of think. She's only seen Deku like this another time before, where it was this bad, and that was meeting the man. But now Deku's crying over him. It shows that, well, she just doesn't know what to say. And she just holds on to him. As she does put her head down onto his shoulder and just stay there for a second. She doesn't say a word, but she knows that right now, Deku, he kinda doesn't need any. Since there's always so much going through that head of his. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. Catch you guys in the next part.